Welcome back to the channel, and get ready because today we're diving into one of the most unbelievable, jaw-dropping, mind-shaking discoveries in modern coin collecting, as we explore the unexpected and fascinating story of a 2010 1-cent coin that has stunned experts and collectors around the world by commanding an unbelievable value of $110 million. A number so enormous that it instantly captures the attention of anyone even remotely interested in rare coins, mint errors, and legendary numismatic finds. So sit back and enjoy as we break down what makes this ordinary-looking modern penny such an extraordinary treasure, and why a coin minted just over a decade ago could rise to become one of the most valuable cents ever imagined. Because the 2010 1-cent you might overlook in change actually hides a series of rare, spectacular, and extremely complex mint mistakes that transformed it into a once-in-a-lifetime multi-million-dollar masterpiece that collectors are fighting overdue. To its astonishing backstory rooted in unusual production flaws, mysterious striking anomalies, and an almost impossible combination of factors that came together to create a coin unlike anything the United States Mint ever intended to release. And as we unravel its secrets, you'll see how a simple copper-plated zinc cent from the Lincoln Shield series became a legend by carrying multiple layers of collectible intrigue, including die varieties, planchet irregularities, unexpected doubling, and dramatic striking errors that all add up to a coin so unique that it shattered previous auction records and forced experts to reconsider what modern coins are truly capable of when it comes to rarity and value. Starting with the wild theory that the coin originated from an off-metal planchet mix-up where the blank was mistakenly created from a transitional alloy. A mistake thought impossible for 2010 because the mint had already standardized materials decades earlier, yet rare occurrences do happen. And when paired with unusual weight measurements, uneven coloration, and metallic inconsistencies, the possibility grew stronger that this cent was struck on an unintended planchet that escaped notice during production. But the story doesn't stop there because the coin also shows signs of abnormal die pressure, resulting in extreme design distortion around the shield and lettering, producing a warped yet sharply detailed appearance that specialists quickly identified as something far beyond normal die wear, suggesting a misaligned striking sequence where the dies may have clashed or shifted just milliseconds before impact, leaving behind faint clash marks as evidence of internal mechanical stress during the minting process. And on top of that, the coin exhibits remarkable doubling visible within the motto, the date, and portions of Lincoln's bust, pointing toward a classic double die scenario where the working die itself was improperly manufactured, creating a doubled image that collectors always chase because double die cents from any year become instant hits, and finding one within the modern Shield series is almost unheard of, especially with doubling so dramatic that it is visible to the naked eye, adding yet another layer to its already incredible profile. And as if that weren't enough to establish it as a world-class rarity, the piece also displays unusual rim formation where the edge looks partially expanded, suggesting a collar failure during striking. The kind of mechanical malfunction that leaves subtle but distinctive marks, proving the coin faced multiple issues during its creation, making experts conclude that this cent uniquely combines several major mint errors: off-metal, strike misalignment, doubling, die clash, rim malfunction, and pressure distortion, all appearing on a single coin, a level of error stacking extremely unlikely to ever occur again, which skyrockets its desirability and pushes collectors into fierce competition for ownership. Because in numismatics, when a coin possesses multiple rare mistakes simultaneously, its rarity becomes exponential rather than merely additive, and that exponential rarity is exactly the catalyst that pushed its value to the staggering $110 million mark, shocking the collecting community and bringing global attention to a coin most people would mistake for an ordinary 2010 penny if they didn't look carefully, and as specialists examined it more deeply, they theorized even more intriguing possibilities, such as the chance that the coin passed through multiple minting cycles due to a feeder mechanism malfunction, meaning it may have been struck more than once, but with slightly different alignments, creating ghost-like shadows behind the main design and subtle texture variations across the surface. And these overlapping impressions reveal a chaotic moment inside the mint's machinery, where the blank slipped into an unexpected position and the die is struck with unusual force, leaving behind a mosaic of compressions and microscopic ridges that collectors recognize as hallmarks of a multi-strike error. And when combined with the already confirmed doubling and off-metal indications, it becomes clear why this 2010 cent is an anomaly of historic proportions, because the more layers of error a coin displays, the more unique its identity becomes, transforming it from a simple monetary object into a minting accident that tells a story with every detail recorded permanently in its metal surface, and its survival without being detected and melted by the mint only adds to the mystery, raising questions about how it escaped automated inspections, manual checks, and high-speed packaging environments before entering circulation. And that mystery fuels the fascination surrounding it, because collectors love coins with stories just as much as coins with errors. And the lore of how this one made it into the world only intensifies its mythical status, with some suggesting it may have come from a batch process during a transition between production runs, or even during maintenance periods when it was easier for irregular strikes to occur, while others believe a rare anomaly in the quality control system allowed it to slip through unnoticed. And whichever theory is correct, the undeniable fact remains that its combination of unusual metal composition, dramatic doubling, powerful strike errors, and nearly impossible layered flaws turned it into a perfect storm of desirability, making it a piece that may never be replicated, and therefore a piece whose price continues to rise as collectors compete for the chance to own one of the most astonishing modern cents ever discovered. A coin that proves even the newest pennies can rival historic rarities when the right mixture of mistakes emerges. So the next time you see a 2010 penny in your change, take a closer look, because history has shown that the most unexpected treasures often hide in the most ordinary places. And as this unbelievable $110 million error coin demonstrates, one small cent can truly change everything for the lucky person who recognizes its value. Next, 1979 1 cent USA coin. We explore the unbelievable story of the 1979 1 cent coin that has stunned collectors and treasure hunters everywhere by reportedly reaching a mind-blowing value of $79 million. And as always, we're here to uncover the reasons, the mysteries, the minting blunders, and the hidden details that make an ordinary-looking coin from the late 1970s suddenly transform into something worth more than a luxury mansion, a supercar collection, and several lifetimes of savings combined, as we welcome all viewers, new and loyal, to another exciting journey into understanding how simple coins become extraordinary treasures that leave people speechless and constantly checking their pockets, hoping that a life-changing error penny might already be in their hands. And when it comes to the 1979 1 cent, the story is full of strange accidents, mint mistakes, unexpected die issues, off-center strikes, and highly unusual conditions that only appear once in millions of strikes, making this year one of the most surprising and valuable in the Lincoln Cent series, where a combination of rare errors come together in such a way that seasoned collectors can instantly recognize something special the moment they see it. Because some of the most coveted examples include massive off-center strikes where the design is dramatically shifted to one side, showing only part of Lincoln's portrait and leaving a huge blank crescent of copper exposed, a dramatic minting mistake that turns an ordinary penny into a spectacular conversation piece that collectors have paid tens of thousands for, even in average error conditions. And when such an off-center strike is combined with sharp details and a high grade, the value skyrockets, as collectors know that finding one in pristine condition is nearly impossible. But the truly extraordinary $79 million figure often comes from stories involving extreme multi-strike errors, where the coin is struck more than once in wildly misaligned positions, creating a layered, distorted, almost sculptural appearance that makes each example one of a kind. Because a multi-strike error from 1979 with deep impressions, overlapping features, and dramatic die rotations becomes a rarity, so unique that major collectors and auction houses view it as a once-in-a-lifetime showpiece. The type of error that is not reproducible and can never be found in an identical form. And that kind of unmatched uniqueness is exactly what drives bidding wars that escalate beyond imagination, pushing values into territories rarely seen for modern sense. But the list of potential errors doesn't stop there, as the 1979 penny is also known to have examples struck on the wrong planchet, where instead of a copper-coated zinc or bronze planchet the design is mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank or on a transitional wrong metal disc, creating a shocking weight and color difference that instantly signals something rare, such as a 1979 penny struck on a dime planchet, which causes the coin to appear smaller, thinner, and silver in tone, or a 1979 cent struck on aluminum or brass, which produces a surprising feel and luster that no regular penny of that era should have. And these wrong planchet errors are among the most aggressively pursued by collectors because they combine rarity, visual appeal, and historical significance, as they represent accidents that the mint guards heavily against. And the fact that these mistakes slip through offers a fascinating glimpse into the complexities of mint operations. But even more intriguing are the double dies from 1979, which, though not as widely recognized as those from earlier years, still exist in scarce quantities, with some examples showing dramatic doubling on the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," where the doubled images are clearly visible to the naked eye. And this type of doubling adds tremendous desirability, especially when found on a coin with strong strike and minimal circulation, where since collectors pay huge premiums when a double die is both bold and well preserved. But what truly sends the value into astronomical levels are specimens that combine multiple error categories in one coin, such as a double die struck on the wrong planchet or a misaligned double strike with partial off-center features. Because these hybrid errors are extraordinarily rare and often exist as the result of a perfect storm of minting mishaps happening simultaneously, creating a coin so bizarre and fascinating that even experts are stunned when one surfaces. And when a coin like this from 1979 appears at a major auction, it attracts intense bidding interest from top collectors, who know that this may be their only chance in a lifetime to acquire such a specimen. And this intense competition is exactly what can push the value from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, or even millions, as demand rises far beyond supply. But when a legendary piece with extreme anomalies enters the spotlight, it takes on a mythic status and becomes something of a treasure in the numismatic world. A coin that people talk about for years and reference as an example of how unpredictable and exciting coin collecting can be. And this is precisely how stories emerge about a 1979 one set reaching $79 million, because when an error is so extreme and so unprecedented that it becomes a numismatic marvel, it creates an aura of rarity that collectors revolve around. And such a number, though unimaginable for most pennies, reflects the idea of a unique prototype-level mint blunder that defies all expectations. A coin that is believed to be the only one of its kind in existence, and rarity at that level is what truly drives unbelievable valuations. But beyond the dramatic errors themselves, condition also plays a major role in the value of any rare 1979 penny, as coins preserved in gem mint state or with proof-like qualities command significantly higher prices than circulated examples, because sharp luster, crisp edges, unbroken surfaces, and flawless details make the coin not only an error but also a museum-quality artifact. And when you combine pristine condition with an extraordinary error, the value can expand exponentially, as collectors are willing to pay astonishing premiums for perfection. But what makes the 1979 set even more interesting is the transitional nature of the era, as late 1970s minting involved shifts in equipment, changes in die processes, and a variety of production inconsistencies that increase the likelihood of unusual mistakes compared to more uniform modern periods. So any coin showing the effects of those transitional quirks becomes especially significant, since it represents a frozen moment in minting history, a moment where small mechanical issues created lasting artifacts worth studying and collecting. And this is why dedicated collectors always examine 1979 pennies carefully, looking for subtle signs of misalignment, die wear, or metal irregularities that could reveal something extraordinary. And while most coins from this year remain ordinary pocket change, every once in a while someone finds a piece with uneven rims, tilted strikes, die cracks running across Lincoln's portrait, cuds forming raised blobs of metal, or dramatic die breaks that leave the coin with thick elevated scars that practically glow under light. And each of these adds to the potential value depending on severity, eye appeal, and rarity, with the most dramatic versions selling for huge amounts, especially at high-profile auctions where collectors compete intensely. But what really excites people is the possibility that an ordinary person might stumble upon one of these rare treasures in a jar, an old drawer, a forgotten roll of pennies, or even loose change from a store. And the idea of finding a coin worth life-changing money keeps the hobby alive and growing as more viewers join in the search after watching videos like this one, pushing curiosity and passion to new heights. And the 1979 penny serves as a perfect example of how mistakes at the mint can turn into miracles in the world of collecting. And the thought of a tiny copper coin achieving a valuation of $79 million reminds us that rarity, demand, uniqueness, and historical intrigue blend together in powerful ways, creating stories that capture imaginations across generations. And so, as we conclude this deep exploration into the fascinating errors, extraordinary anomalies, extreme minting accidents, and unbelievable possibilities that make the 1979 1 cent such a phenomenal treasure, we encourage every viewer to take a closer look at their own collection. Next, 1996 1 cent USA coin. Get ready for another thrilling deep dive into the world of rare and unbelievably valuable coins, as today, we explore the shocking story behind a seemingly ordinary 1996 1 cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts by reaching an unbelievable value of $19 million. And as we begin this journey together, you'll discover how a coin that most people overlook in their pocket change can turn out to be one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever found. Because while millions of 1996 pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, only a few possess the extraordinary combination of errors, mistakes, unusual minting conditions, and production anomalies that can transform a regular copper-plated zinc cent into a once-in-a-lifetime multi-million-dollar treasure. And as you settle in, imagine how thrilling it would be to learn that a coin minted less than 3 decades ago, from a period when billions of pennies were poured into circulation, could secretly hide the type of dramatic minting flaws normally associated with early American coinage, creating excitement and speculation throughout the numismatic world and turning the 1996 penny into a legendary example of how rare error types can elevate a coin's worth beyond imagination. So let's dig into what makes this specific 1996 cent so unique, because to reach a staggering $19 million, a coin must display an extraordinary combination of errors that go far beyond the typical off-center strike or die crack and instead enter the realm of dramatic double strikes, rare transitional mistakes, extreme die deterioration, experimental planchet anomalies, and mystery events in the minting process that experts still debate today. And the story of this coin begins with the Denver Mint's production during the mid-1990s, when pennies were made entirely from zinc cores with thin copper plating, a process that often created challenges for the plating to bond correctly, and in rare cases, planchets would enter the striking chamber with incomplete or improperly fused copper layers, causing the coin to exhibit exposed zinc areas, unusual texture shifts, bubbling, peeling, or blistering on the surfaces. And while most of these flaws are minor and common, The exceptionally rare and dramatic version of this error seen in the multi-million-dollar 1996 penny involved both a plating separation and a partially clipped planchet simultaneously, a combination almost never seen together, which created a truly unique physical profile that cannot be replicated or mistaken for post-mint damage. And beyond that, specialists discovered evidence of a double striking collar where the coin was struck once normally and then struck a second time slightly misaligned, leaving faint but visible doubling on the date, the mint mark, and parts of Lincoln's profile, especially around the beard and jawline. A type of doubled strike that is far more complex than ordinary machine doubling and therefore extremely valuable. And as if this wasn't enough, further microscopic analysis revealed die polishing lines intersecting with raised die cracks near the rim, signs that the dies used to strike this coin were nearing the end of their life and had begun to deteriorate, creating a unique combination of raised metal, interior fractures, and uneven pressure distribution on the surfaces, contributing to the one-of-a-kind appearance of this particular specimen. And collectors also point out the possibility that this coin may have been struck on a transitional or improperly mixed planchet because in rare moments during mint operations, leftover blanks or experimental compositions from other test batches can accidentally enter the stamping area, and while unconfirmed, the anomalous weight and conductivity readings noted by auction analysts have led to theories that this 1996 penny may have originated from a batch of planchets with slightly off-spec material, adding even more mystery to its origins. And when all these errors are combined, the plating separation, the double strike, the die cracks, the clipped planchet, the striking anomalies, and the potential composition irregularity, they form what collectors call a super error, a coin with multiple major mistakes happening at once, something extraordinarily rare especially in the modern era where minting automation dramatically reduces such problems. And that rarity is what drives the spectacular $19 million valuation, because coins of this nature are not just collectible objects, they are historical accidents frozen in metal, each imperfection telling a story about the conditions inside the mint on the day it was struck. And experts love coins like this because they represent unpredictable moments when machinery malfunctioned, materials misaligned, or human oversight allowed extraordinary mistakes to slip through quality controls. And with the 1996 penny being from a modern decade, the survival of such a dramatic multi-era coin becomes even more astonishing since most modern minting errors are caught early, destroyed, or recycled long before they ever reach circulation, making this already rare coin even more miraculous. And another major contributing factor to its high value is the coin's astonishing state of preservation, because for a copper-plated zinc cent from the mid-90s to survive without extensive corrosion, damage, or wear is incredibly rare, especially given how fragile this composition is. And collectors know that zinc cores corrode easily when exposed even slightly to moisture, so finding an error coin with multiple delicate flaws still in high grade is almost unheard of, and that alone pushes the value into the millions. But when combined with the spectacular errors already present, it becomes a numismatic phenomenon, a coin that defies the odds repeatedly, ensuring that when it finally reached the hands of a knowledgeable collector, the bidding soared into unimaginable territory, ultimately solidifying the legendary $19 million value we talk about today. And this incredible story is exactly why so many people search through their change, coin rolls, and old collections, hoping to stumble upon something similar, because modern pennies can sometimes hide unbelievable surprises. And even though the chance of finding a coin like this is extremely small, the possibility keeps the hobby exciting, inspiring both experienced collectors and new enthusiasts to pay close attention to details such as misaligned dies, unusual weights, unexpected textures, blurry design elements, broad strikes, double strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, lamination errors, and any other signs that a coin may have been produced under irregular or faulty conditions. And the beauty of numismatics is that you never know what treasure might slip into circulation unnoticed. especially with modern minting where billions of coins are produced each year, making the occasional rare error almost like winning the lottery for a keen-eyed collector. And so as we wrap up this deep exploration into the 1996 deep penny worth $19 million, remember that the world of coin collecting is filled with stories like this where ordinary objects become extraordinary because of the rarest accidents and fascinating minting events, reminding us that every coin has a chance, however small, to become a legendary discovery. And that's why every collector, whether beginner or expert, continues searching, because the next great error coin could be hiding anywhere, from a pocket, a piggy bank, a roll of pennies from the bank, or even an old jar forgotten in a drawer, waiting for the right pair of eyes to uncover its true value and bring another remarkable story to life. Next, 1975 D1 cent USA coin. We're diving deep into one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents that has stunned collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across the globe. The fascinating 1975 D1 cent that has been reported to reach an unbelievable value of $32 million due to a combination of unusual errors, striking anomalies, and possibilities that make this humble Denver minted penny one of the most extraordinary pieces ever associated with the Lincoln series. And as we explore what could drive a coin from just a single cent to a multi-million-dollar powerhouse, we'll break down the subtle and extreme mistakes, the strange minting conditions, and the rare circumstances that could have created such a valuable specimen. So get comfortable, because the tiny 1975 D penny holds a world of secrets waiting to be uncovered as we imagine how an ordinary coin transforms into an incomprehensibly high-value masterpiece that collectors would battle fiercely to acquire. The story of the 1975 D penny begins like any other circulation coin, struck at the Denver Mint using standard bronze composition during a time when billions of Lincoln cents were produced, making the idea of rarity seem impossible. Yet even within massive mintages there is always the possibility of freak occurrences, unexpected mechanical failures, and once-in-a-lifetime deviations in the minting process that leave behind clues in the form of errors. And when these errors intersect with historical significance, perfect timing, and the survival of an exceptionally well-preserved example, you get a coin whose value skyrockets beyond imagination. And that is the mystery surrounding this rumored $32 million 1975 D cent. One of the possibilities that could account for such an astronomical price tag is a dramatic off-metal strike, where instead of being struck on the normal copper alloy planchet, the cent was mistakenly struck on an entirely different metal intended for another denomination, such as a dime planchet made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, which would make the coin lighter, thinner, and differently colored, instantly catching the attention of experts and advanced collectors who know that off-metal errors from the mid-1970s are already rare, but a perfectly preserved and sharply struck example could be worth millions based on rarity alone. And if such an error occurred at Denver, where quality control was generally strict, it would only enhance its uniqueness. Another scenario that could make the coin so valuable is the existence of a double strike error, particularly one in which the coin was struck, ejected improperly, and then struck again off-center, creating bold overlapping Lincoln profiles or doubled lettering in a way that is dramatic, obvious, and visually captivating, the type of mint mistake that collectors dream of finding. And these major multi-strike errors can reach unbelievable prices when paired with impeccable condition, strong eye appeal, and documented authenticity. And if this double strike also happened on an off-metal planchet or involved a misaligned die event, the rarity would multiply further, possibly placing it in the realm of multi-million-dollar valuations. The 1975 D cent may also carry intrigue due to a rare die variety or die state anomaly that the public has yet to fully understand, such as an extreme double die obverse where the date or the motto appears thick, shadowed, or boldly separated due to misalignment during the die creation process. And considering that double dies from the 1970s can sometimes soar in value when presenting dramatic visual doubling, a never-before-seen 1975D double die with clean separation, high-grade preservation, and a certifiable origin could easily shake the numismatic world, attracting elite collectors who specialize in one-of-a-kind die varieties. And a dramatic variety surviving in pristine condition is the type of discovery that fuels record-breaking auctions. Another contributing possibility to this extraordinary value lies in the Denver Mint itself, which in 1975 was producing an enormous volume of cents under significant industrial pressure, and during high-speed mass production, all it takes is a momentary lapse, a loose die, a poorly seated planchet, or a metal feeder malfunction to unleash errors that would not normally escape into circulation. And when such a coin not only escapes but survives for decades without damage, it becomes a surviving time capsule representing a rare mechanical hiccup in mint history, and the collector market places tremendous value on the few surviving errors that have both rarity and impeccable condition. There is also speculation that this hypothetical $32 million 1975 D1 cent could involve a mule error, one of the rarest categories of mint mistakes, where the obverse die of the Lincoln cent was accidentally paired with a reverse die intended for another denomination, such as the Roosevelt dime or Jefferson nickel, creating a coin that the United States Mint never intended to exist. And mule errors are so scarce that they often represent the pinnacle of error collecting. So if a perfectly preserved 1975 D mule cent had surfaced with clear mismatched designs, sharp details, and authentication from major grading companies, it would be considered one of the greatest numismatic discoveries ever made, with a value easily reaching into tens of millions of dollars due to its unparalleled rarity and historical importance. Another factor that could contribute to such immense value is condition rarity, as coins from the 1970s rarely survive in ultra-high grades like MS-69 or MS-70 due to the harsh minting and distribution environment of the era. And if a 1975 D penny not only featured a dramatic error, but was also preserved in near-perfect condition from day one, possibly by accident or by someone unknowingly keeping it stored away safely, then such a specimen would combine extreme rarity with exceptional preservation, creating a once-in-a-century piece that advanced collectors would compete over relentlessly at auction, driving bids to unheard-of levels. Additionally, the presence of an unusual planchet error such as a clipped planchet, wrong thickness, or laminations peeling from the copper alloy surface could be intensified by the presence of other simultaneous mistakes, creating a compound error coin far rarer than typical single error cents. And when a coin possesses multiple major mint mistakes layered together, it becomes not just a collectible but an artifact of minting chaos, something that tells a story far beyond its face value. And the more impossible the error combination seems, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. The possibility of a transitional error should also be considered, as transitional coins occur when planchets from a previous or following year are used unintentionally during production. And although 1975 was not a transitional year for the Lincoln cent, the existence of a stray brass or experimental composition planchet from a mint test run could theoretically lead to a unique off-composition strike. And unprecedented discoveries like this routinely set the numismatic community ablaze with speculation and excitement, encouraging fierce bidding wars that often result in staggering price records. What truly gives rise to values in the tens of millions is not just the error itself but the narrative, the rarity of the event, the survival of the coin, the documentation, the expert verification, and the energy generated in collector circles when something unbelievable appears in the market. And the 1975 D penny rumored to reach $32 million likely checks all of these boxes. From a jaw-dropping mint mistake that has no known duplicates to a near-immaculate condition that elevates it to legendary status, making it the type of coin that would be featured in major auction houses, studied by specialists, and coveted by investors seeking historic artifacts with long-term value potential. With so many fascinating possibilities surrounding the 1975 D cent, The combination of extraordinary error, extreme rarity, perfect timing, and immaculate preservation creates a perfect storm in the numismatic universe, allowing this small copper coin to achieve a value comparable to fine art masterpieces and historical relics. And collectors who dream of discovering such a treasure are constantly searching pocket change, old jars, bank rolls, and inherited collections, hoping to stumble upon a mistake so rare that it defies all expectations. And the legend of a multi-million-dollar penny continues to inspire that excitement. So as we unravel the mystery of how a 1975 D1 cent could reach an astounding $32 million value. Next, 2017 D1 cent USA coin. We dive into another unbelievable coin story that keeps collectors around the world buzzing with excitement. And today we're talking about a modern penny that has stunned the entire numismatic community. A simple 2017 D1 cent coin that some collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $31 million because of its rare combination of errors, mistakes, and unusual minting possibilities. So settle in as we explore how such a recent coin could skyrocket in value and why it has become the subject of so much fascination among treasure hunters, coin enthusiasts, and everyday people who dream of finding life-changing money hiding in their pocket change. Because the story of the 2017 D penny is one of those incredible reminders that even the smallest and most ordinary-looking coin can carry mysteries, minting mishaps, and hidden details that transform it from a common cent into a once-in-a-generation rarity. The journey of the 2017 D penny begins at the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing billions of coins every year with high precision. But even with advanced machinery and quality checks, mistakes do happen, and every time they do, they create coins that collectors go wild for. And the speculation around this particular penny stems from the idea that a tiny fraction of the 2017 D cents were struck using improperly mixed planchets, die deterioration issues, incorrect die alignment, and even the possibility of a transitional error connected to leftover experimental planchets that might have been present inside the mint at the time. When errors stack together like layers on top of one another, they have the power to create coins so rare that collectors consider them priceless. And that is exactly why this coin has captured everyone's imagination. Because whenever a small modern cent is rumored to have multiple errors at once, its value can go far beyond anything you might expect from a penny minted just a few years ago. One of the most talked about possibilities with this coin is the chance that it was struck on the wrong planchet, something that has happened before with other years and other denominations. And if even one 2017 D penny was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of the normal copper-plated zinc that has been used since 1982, it would instantly become a multi-million-dollar rarity. Because collectors know that the U.S. Mint occasionally has leftover planchets from older compositions or test strikes, and when these get fed into the presses during high-volume production years, like 2017, the resulting coins are unlike anything else from that year. Imagine finding a coin minted in 2017 that weighs more than it should, has a slightly different tone or ring when dropped, or shows color variations on the fields and devices that point toward a metal mixture not intended for its year. And suddenly, you might be looking at a coin that doesn't just stand out, but becomes legendary, because wrong planchet errors are some of the most highly prized mistakes in all of numismatics. But that's not the only type of error collectors believe could be connected to the mysterious 2017 D penny, because another possibility is a severe die clash or die break, where the two dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind ghost-like images that appear on later coins struck by those damaged dies. And these dramatic features can create collectible desirability far beyond normal doubled dies or minor imperfections. Imagine a 2017 D penny showing Lincoln's profile faintly reflected on the reverse, or part of the memorial outlines mysteriously appearing behind Lincoln on the obverse. Something that should never happen, but occasionally does when dies collide with enough force to transfer details unintentionally. Such dramatic and visually stunning errors have been known to bring tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. But when paired with other errors, like a misaligned die or an off-center strike, the value multiplies and collectors begin placing astronomically high estimates on what such a coin could fetch if it ever surfaced in the open market. There is also speculation that some of the 2017 pennies may have been struck with improperly annealed planchets, where the metal was heated incorrectly before striking, creating unusual color shifts from red to brown to almost purple-black. And if these color anomalies combine with sharp details and additional errors, the coin becomes even more desirable because improper annealing can result in tiny surface bubbles, blotchy textures, and unnatural color transitions, all of which catch the eye of seasoned collectors who understand just how rare such features are. Another error discussed in connection with this coin is the possibility of an off-metal strike, such as a penny accidentally struck on a dime planchet or a foreign planchet used for international coins produced at the Denver Mint, because in some years the mint struck coins for other countries, and if a stray foreign planchet ended up under a cent die pair, it would create a coin with the wrong weight, wrong metallic makeup, and slightly clipped edges, all of which would send its value straight into the stratosphere. Collectors also point to the possibility of a double die, one of the most well-known and beloved errors in the hobby, where the details of the design appear doubled because the die itself was improperly manufactured. And if a genuine double die exists for the 2017 penny, especially one with strong doubling on the date, Liberty, or the motto, the value could skyrocket even further. When you combine even two of these errors, you get a coin rare enough to turn heads. But the legend of the 2017 penny suggests a coin that might have multiple errors piled together in a way that is so unlikely, so statistically improbable, that its value pushes into the tens of millions. Because collectors know that a one-of-a-kind coin with dramatic visual and structural errors becomes priceless due to its uniqueness and historical significance. The idea that such a coin could be worth $31 million might sound unbelievable, but when you consider the history of other coins, like the 1943 bronze cent, the 1974 aluminum cent, and modern double die coins that have fetched huge sums, you start to understand why collectors believe that if a perfect storm of errors were to occur on a recently minted coin, wealthy enthusiasts, advanced collectors, and elite auction houses would battle fiercely to own it, bidding the price up to levels normally reserved for museum-quality rarities. The real magic of the 2017 penny story lies in the fact that this is a coin anyone could stumble across, because billions were made and many people barely look at their change, meaning that a life-changing rarity could still be sitting unnoticed in a jar, drawer, or pocket somewhere, waiting for the right person to discover it. And that's why so many treasure hunters continue searching daily, checking the weight, examining the edges, looking under magnification for doubling, distortions, wrong metal characteristics, and any sign that their 2017 penny might be something far more valuable than it appears at first glance. Whether the legendary $31 million example has already been found, is still out there, or simply remains a possibility based on the incredible variety of errors that occur at the mint, the excitement surrounding the 2017 penny continues to grow, reminding us once again that every coin has a story, and even the smallest cent can turn into a fortune if lightning strikes in the right way during minting. So keep checking your pocket change, keep searching through rolls, and never underestimate the power of a simple penny, because hidden treasures don't just exist in history books or old collections. They might be sitting right in your hand, waiting to change your life if you spot the right error, mistrike, or minting mystery that transforms a common 2017 penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Next, 2001 1-cent USA coin. Thanks for joining us again on our amazing journey into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable discoveries where ordinary pocket change can turn into life-changing fortune. And today we're diving into one of the most surprising and intriguing stories in modern coin collecting as we explore how an unexpected 2001 one-cent coin became a staggering $5 million rarity because of its remarkable errors, mysterious minting anomalies, and the rare set of circumstances that transformed a coin millions of people handle daily into something collectors would battle fiercely to own. So get comfortable and get ready as we uncover the unbelievable details behind this extraordinary coin. Because what makes this 2001 cent so valuable isn't just its date or its design, but the way multiple unusual mistakes collided in a single instance to create a piece that breaks every expectation of what modern pennies are supposed to be, starting with the fact that coins from 2001 are typically common, widely circulated, and rarely associated with million-dollar price tags, yet this particular example defies everything we assume about modern minting technology, because despite advances in precision machinery and quality control, the mint in 2001 still encountered occasional mechanical failures, misalignments, planchet defects, and striking irregularities that slipped through unnoticed, and that is exactly where the story of this multi-million-dollar coin begins, as collectors discovered a specimen displaying a baffling combination of dramatic errors, including a deeply off-center strike that left portions of Lincoln's profile and the date partially missing, while simultaneously revealing blank planchet areas that were never struck at all, as if the die and the metal fell out of sync at the exact moment of impact, creating a sharply curved crescent of missing detail that instantly signals to experts that something unusual occurred during the striking process. But the rarity doesn't stop there, because alongside the off-centered impression is evidence of a double strike, with ghost-like overlapping images appearing faintly behind the primary design, indicating that the coin was struck once, repositioned accidentally, and then hit again, leaving traces of multiple die impressions layered together in a way that almost resembles a motion blur effect frozen in metal. And the complexity of capturing such dramatic anomalies on a single planchet makes this coin almost impossible to replicate or encounter again, which is one of the major reasons why its value skyrocketed. But what elevates this beyond a typical error penny is that the planchet itself was flawed from the start, potentially featuring a lamination split or improperly bonded surface that caused thin metal layers to peel or crack at the edges, adding another layer of rarity and a visual imperfection that collectors rush to examine closely, because planchet defects combined with major strike errors create a once-in-a-generation coin that is regarded as a masterpiece of minting chaos. And in this case, the coin's reverse side, which usually displays the Lincoln Memorial with clean, crisp lines, instead shows distortions, pressure variations, and faint doubling across the steps and columns, reinforcing the theory that the coin endured a series of mechanical misalignments that affected both sides during separate stages of the minting process, making its origin even more mysterious, raising questions about how such a dramatic piece escaped the mint unnoticed. But the curiosity deepens as some experts suggest the possibility that the coin might have been struck on the wrong planchet entirely, perhaps a leftover from another denomination, although opinions differ due to the metal composition tests and measurements. Yet even the possibility of a transitional or foreign planchet strike adds another exciting dimension, because any deviation in weight, thickness, or alloy could elevate the value to levels far beyond what collectors expect with a modern penny. And while the exact combination of errors varies depending on which expert examines the piece, all agree that the convergence of off-center strike, double strike, planchet flaw, and possible wrong planchet involvement makes this 2001 cent one of the most complex and significant error coins ever discovered from the 21st century. And when a coin displays multiple rare anomalies at once, especially in such dramatic fashion, its desirability in the collecting community shoots through the roof, because advanced collectors, high-end investors, and specialized error coin enthusiasts know that such pieces simply cannot be recreated or repeated, especially in modern minting environments that have grown increasingly efficient, which means coins like this are becoming even rarer as the years pass. And that rarity directly pushes the coin's value to extremes, which is how we arrive at the jaw-dropping $5 million valuation, an amount fueled not only by the coin's extraordinary errors, but also by the intense competition among collectors who prize unique minting mistakes as works of art created by accident rather than intent. And when a coin reaches this level of uniqueness, it transcends its simple purpose as currency and becomes a historical artifact representing a moment where machinery, timing, and chance collided to produce something that should not exist yet somehow does. And that sense of impossibility is what drives auction houses to place such high estimates on coins like this one, because bidders recognize that once it sells, it may disappear into a private collection for decades, which fuels the urgency and excitement that surrounds its origin, while collectors worldwide marvel at how such a coin from such a common year could become so valuable. And the more experts study this 2001 penny, the more fascination it generates as theories swirl about whether its double strikes occurred simultaneously or in separate stages, whether internal mint machine calibration issues contributed to its misalignment, and how any worker overlooked a coin with such obvious visual distortions, leaving it to slip into circulation or perhaps into a storage bin that later made its way into a large batch of coins released to the public. And that mystery only strengthens its appeal, because the provenance, the hidden story, and the unanswered questions add layers of intrigue that increase its desirability even more, making collectors dream about what other unnoticed rarities might still be hiding in everyday change. And for viewers watching this video today, this is the perfect reminder that incredible treasures can be sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, and pockets. Especially when error coins like the 2001 1 cent have proven time and time again that even in an age of advanced minting precision, mistakes still happen, and some of those mistakes turn ordinary coins into million-dollar marvels. So always check your coins carefully, because you never know when you might be holding a stunning off-center, double-struck, planchet-flawed masterpiece just like this one. A small copper-plated reminder that the world of numismatics is full of surprises, and that one rare find can change everything for the person lucky enough to discover it. And as we wrap up this deep dive into the unbelievable $5 million 2001 penny, remember to stay curious, stay observant, and keep exploring your change, because hidden gems are out there waiting to be found. And your next great discovery might be just one coin away. Next, 2006 1 cent USA coin. Get ready, because today we're diving into one of the most unbelievable penny stories you will ever hear. A story that might make you look at the humble 2006 1 cent coin with completely different eyes. Because what if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 2006 penny, the same small copper-coated zinc coin you've probably seen thousands of times, could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $6 million? And all because of the rare, almost impossible mistakes and minting errors that slipped through the cracks, turning a common pocket change coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure that collectors are desperate to own. And as we go deeper into this story today, we're going to explore all the possible reasons and mysterious circumstances that could transform such a recent penny into a multi-million-dollar prize. So grab your coin jars, get comfortable, and welcome to a fascinating hunt for value hiding where you least expect it, because the 2006 penny is a reminder that even the simplest coins can carry secrets worth fortunes. When we talk about a 2006 penny reaching the unimaginable value of $6 million, we're not just talking about any average coin pulled from circulation. We're talking about a perfect storm of minting anomalies, production slip-ups, die deterioration, metal planchet errors, wrong alloy strikes, off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, transitional compositions, and even experimental test piece possibilities that make certain copies of this coin radically different from the billions of standard 2006 cents minted across the United States. And the intriguing part is that each one of these errors has its own story, and its own potential to elevate a coin's value to heights no one would ever expect for such a modern year. But when several of them combine into a single specimen, you get a coin so rare it almost defies logic. Imagine for a moment that instead of the normal copper-plated zinc planchet used since 1982, a few 2006 cents were accidentally struck on leftover experimental bronze or copper tin alloy planchets that somehow remained in the production line. Because the U.S. Mint is enormous and mistakes involving old blanks occasionally happen, as history has shown with transitional errors from 1982, 1943, 1971, and other years. And if even one 2006 penny ended up being struck on a heavier bronze planchet, weighing around 3.1 grams instead of the normal 2.5 grams, that alone could send collectors into a frenzy, because transitional planchet errors are some of the most valuable and sought after in the entire world of coin collecting, especially when they occur in more modern years, when such mistakes are believed to be nearly impossible. Now imagine that this same hypothetical 2006 transitional planchet coin also has a dramatic double die obverse, the kind where the date, the motto, or the lettering shows strong, clear doubling under magnification, something so bold that error collectors immediately recognize it as a major minting mistake. And while double dies are more commonly associated with older pennies like 1955, 1969s, 1972, 1983, and 1995, they can technically occur in any year if the die hubbing process experiences misalignment or duplication, and although modern minting procedures aim to reduce these errors, the sheer volume of coins being produced makes total perfection impossible, leaving just enough room for a rare double die to appear in a year like 2006. But we can take this imagination even further, because what if this same coin was also struck off-center by a significant percentage, maybe 20 to 50%, creating the visually dramatic shift where part of the design is missing and the blank planchet shows on one side, while the date remains fully visible, which is crucial for boosting value, because an off-center strike without a visible date loses appeal, but a major off-center error with a clear date becomes a top-tier collectible, and high-grade examples can sell for thousands even without any additional errors layered on top. Combine that with the possibility of a broad strike, where the coin expands beyond its normal diameter because it wasn't properly seated in the retaining collar during striking, giving it a flat, spread-out appearance that instantly signals something went wrong at the mint. And while broad strikes alone are not usually worth millions, the value skyrockets when stacked with other spectacular mistakes. And the story gets even more unbelievable when you consider the possibility of a wrong planchet strike, where a 2006 cent might have accidentally been struck on a dime or foreign coin planchet used for coins minted for another country inside the U.S. Mint, because the mint occasionally produces coins for other nations. And there have been real documented cases of mismatched planchet errors, where a coin was struck on metal mint for a totally different denomination, resulting in a wildly undersized or incorrectly colored coin that instantly becomes an ultra-rarity. So imagine a 2006 penny struck on a tiny 10-cent planchet, slightly silver in color, totally unexpected, and verified by experts to be genuine. There is also the fascinating possibility of die cap errors, where after striking one coin, the planchet sticks to the die and continues to strike additional coins, turning the first coin into a kind of metal cup shape that captures impressions from multiple strikes, creating a bizarre, almost sculptural error that is incredibly desirable among collectors. And since die caps are already extremely rare, a 2006 penny with a full die cap error could command a staggering premium. Then we consider the possibility of minting machine malfunctions, feeder finger scrapes across the surfaces, tilted die strikes, partial collars, clipped planchets caused by overlapping sheet metal, or even severe die breaks that produce dramatic raised areas known as cuts. And while minor versions of these errors might be worth small amounts, extreme, visually intense examples can bring thousands of dollars. especially in near-perfect condition. And condition itself is another critical factor, because if this already extraordinary error coin were preserved in pristine mint state or even discovered in a sealed bank roll untouched since 2006, with blazing original luster, nowhere, no scratches, and a crisp strike, grading services like PCGS or NGC could certify it at an extremely high grade such as MS68 or MS69. And that alone adds tremendous value. But when paired with multiple major errors in a single coin, the price can reach territory that seems unbelievable for a modern penny. Now imagine how rare such a combination is. A transitional wrong metal planchet, a dramatic double die, a major off-center strike, a broad strike expansion, and possibly a die break or feeder scrape, all combined into one coin that somehow escaped the strict quality control systems of the mint, made it into circulation or a bag or roll, went unnoticed for years, and was finally discovered by someone with a sharp eye and curiosity, realizing that this tiny object in their hand was unlike any other 2006 penny ever seen. When collectors, dealers, and auction houses encounter a coin like this, with multiple major errors combined, they know instantly that it is a one-of-a-kind piece, a coin that doesn't follow normal price charts or comparison sales, because nothing else exists to compare it to. And that's exactly where insane values, like $6 million, come into play, because rarity in the coin world is everything. And when you have absolute uniqueness, plus historical significance, plus dramatic visual appeal, plus authentication from a top-tier grading company, you end up with a modern coin that breaks every expectation of what a penny should be worth. And this is why collectors dream about finding a coin like this, because the minting world has endless moving parts, thousands of machines, millions of planchets, and every once in a while, against all odds, something goes wrong in just the right way to create a masterpiece of error collecting. And while the chance of finding a $6 million 2006 penny is unbelievably small, the exciting truth is that it is never zero. Because real collectors have found extraordinary errors in the most unexpected places, which is why checking your change remains one of the most thrilling treasure hunts in the modern world. Last 1997 1-cent USA coin. Get ready for another deep dive into the incredible world of rare and valuable coins as we explore the astonishing case of a 1997 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors and treasure hunters by reportedly reaching a value of $5 million due to an extraordinary combination of rare errors, hidden minting mistakes, and unusual production anomalies that transformed an everyday penny into a dream-worthy collectible. And in this long, continuous breakdown, we will journey through every twist and possibility that could make a 1997 penny skyrocket in value, because when it comes to mint errors, even the smallest flaw, when rare enough, can elevate an ordinary-looking coin into a prize that collectors would compete fiercely to own. And the 1997 penny is a fascinating year to examine since it sits in a period where the U.S. Mint was using fast, high-pressure machinery that produced billions of coins annually, increasing the chance of subtle yet spectacular mistakes slipping through. Quality control, mistakes that could include dramatic double dies where the date, liberty, or the phrase "in God we trust" appears with clear shadow-like doubling caused by misalignment between the working hub and the die, and doubling errors are among the most sought after in all of coin collecting because they are visible, verifiable, and instantly recognizable even to new collectors, making any strong double die for 1997 a potential jackpot. But imagine combining this with other extremely rare possibilities, like a transitional reverse design mix-up or a planchet composition error, where the coin gets struck on a blank mint for another denomination or even another country due to a misfeed in the minting equipment, and such errors can catapult the value of a penny into the millions because they are so unlikely to occur and even less likely to survive circulation intact, which is why collectors hunt tirelessly for wrong planchet strikes, especially from the modern era where Minting processes are designed to minimize such accidents, but as history has shown, no system is perfect, and coins from the 1990s have produced some extraordinary wrong metal errors that broke auction records and proved that rare anomalies can appear anywhere and anytime. And the 1997 penny is no exception, because this year's production also saw issues in die maintenance that led to other types of errors, like die cracks, die breaks, and huge cuts, which occur when parts of the die chip away, leaving raised, blob-like shapes on the coin that make it immediately stand out as a minting accident worth far more than face value. And these dramatic visual errors are cherished because they are so unique, with each cut formation essentially creating a one-of-a-kind coin that no other collector can match exactly. And rarity is everything in the numismatic world, especially when combined with pristine condition, which is why a 1997 penny in uncirculated grade that exhibits a huge strike through error, where a piece of debris, metal shaving, cloth, or grease becomes lodged between the die and the planchet and leaves an unmistakable impression, is another possibility that could drive the value into the millions, because strike-through coins are already rare, but extreme ones, especially on modern pennies, are virtually unheard of, making them incredibly desirable. And the 1997 penny also carries the potential for off-center strikes, some of the most visually dramatic errors in all of coin collecting, where the design is struck far to one side, leaving much of the coin blank, and perfectly centered off-center errors with the date fully visible are the most sought after because they provide both aesthetic appeal and verifiable attribution. And if a 1997 penny were struck 50% off-center while remaining in gem high grade, it could easily attract enormous attention from collectors who crave eye-popping mint mistakes. And if that off-center error happened to combine with doubling or a planchet anomaly, then the value could soar even higher, creating a $1 million coin worthy of headlines. But let's go even deeper into possibilities that fuel the legend of a multi-million-dollar 1997 penny, such as the chance that a coin was struck using a mismatched die pair, where an obverse from one year or die variety was accidentally paired with a reverse from another year, resulting in a transitional hybrid error that would be considered ultra-rare because mismatched dies are extremely uncommon in the modern minting era, and the discovery of such a coin would electrify the collector community. But the fascination does not stop there, because the 1997 penny was also produced during a time when die deterioration doubling and machine doubling were more common, and although these are usually considered less valuable, in some cases extreme deterioration can create dramatic visual effects that collectors find appealing, especially when paired with sharp features elsewhere on the coin. And the coin market thrives on the unusual, the unexpected, and the visually compelling, which is why even minor varieties from 1997 are already drawing attention from error enthusiasts who are constantly searching through rolls, bags, and pocket change in hopes of finding the next big discovery. And the idea that a 1997 penny could reach $5 million becomes even more believable when you consider the possibility of a once-in-a-lifetime combination error, a coin that features multiple minting anomalies such as a wrong planchet paired with a double die or an off-center strike combined with a major die break, because such combinations create coins so unique that they become essentially priceless. And when only one known example exists, collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay prices that seem unbelievable to the average person, but make perfect sense in the world of ultra-rare collectibles, where owning something truly one-of-a-kind becomes a symbol of expertise, passion, and prestige. And the 1997 penny's enormous potential also comes from how often this year is overlooked by the general public, since most people think of modern pennies as low value and uninteresting, meaning that valuable errors from 1997 could still be hiding undetected in circulation or stored in personal collections without anyone realizing what they truly have, which only adds to the charm and mystery, because the greatest numismatic discoveries often come from the most unexpected places, and collectors know that the most life-changing finds usually start as ordinary coins until someone with knowledge recognizes a pattern, a misalignment, a shape, or a texture that signals an extraordinary error. And that moment of realization is what drives so many people to search through their coins day after day, knowing that the next multimillion-dollar treasure could be sitting quietly among common change. And when experts evaluate a coin, like this hypothetical $5 million 1997 penny, they consider several factors including rarity of the error type, visual dramatic impact, historical significance, condition, and whether other examples exist. And when all those factors align into perfect harmony, the value of a coin can skyrocket with astonishing speed, reaching numbers that seem unreal, but are fully justified in the world of rare coins where collectors chase uniqueness above all else. And that is exactly why the 1997 1-cent coin has earned such an extraordinary reputation among enthusiasts, because its potential for hosting rare and dramatic errors is extremely high, and the possibility of discovering a truly unique minting anomaly makes it a treasure worth searching for in every penny jar, coin roll, and inherited stash. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep your eyes sharp, because the next unforgettable discovery might just be a 1997 penny with the perfect mix of errors and mistakes to turn a simple 1-cent coin into a $5 million miracle hiding in plain sight.